Ruth Bader Ginsburg, 87. Queen Elizabeth, 93. Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, 82 and 80. Cicely Tyson, 95. And I am 64. A few years ago, I was in Costa Rica with my surfboard looking down at my legs standing strong. I had a moment of grace. I thought, I love these legs that have supported me all these years. I looked back at the beach and I saw this gorgeous young woman walk by, and I thought, may you be so blessed to live this long, be this strong and healthy, and live a life you love. With not one drop of envy, instead of wishing I was her, I felt grounded in my body and grateful it has served me well. I was clear I would not give up one single experience for that moment. But best of all, I felt sexy and hot, and it came from the inside out. In 2008, I made the world a promise that all women would be leaders in their lives and in the world by 2020. 3 years earlier, I had turned 50, was single, fully self-supporting, and a great career, and I'd just thrown myself a birthday party to rival any wedding. The year before, I'd gone to a spa with a sports therapy program, and I went to see a sports therapist about my depression at turning 50. He said, let me get this straight, you're an athlete. I'd just done my first walking marathon for Avon to raise money for breast cancer in honor of my mother who died at 34. You're healthy, you look amazing, what's in a number? For me, the fear was about getting older and being invisible. As women age, we become invisible. It usually starts around 40, sometimes earlier, and it continues as we age, even though 40 is when we step into our power and maturity. At 43, I was trying to get pregnant, and I could not. I discovered I was going through early menopause. Oh, I was catatonic for days. I felt like I just started living my life, and it was over. Visions of being a crone, single, nobody wanting to date me or have sex. I was going to spend the rest of my days driving around with just me and my dog like my widowed aunt. Or only men over 60 would be interested in me. I tried to talk to other women about menopause, and I found it's not something that women really like to talk about. If I had a mother, I would have asked her. Instead, I reached out to two of my aunts. I was frustrated by the lack of information. Then I found the book by Dr. Christine Northrup called Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom, first published in 1994. Contrary to popular myth, women get better as we age. Think life is over at menopause? Guess again. Think sex is done? Wrong again. Our bodies are designed to birth and nurse children, whether we ever become mothers or not. And when we're done with that phase of life, menopause, we actually become free of our bodies. Back to the sports therapist, he went on to explain, in the early days, if someone was 50 and they were in debtor's jail, they were released. They actually celebrated living long enough to turn 50. This is called the Jubilee year. He said, why don't you throw yourself a Jubilee birthday party? And I did. In the time since I celebrated, I've done several triathlons, including 2 in New York City. I fell in love and married the love of my life at 58 in a strapless Oscar de la Renta gown. Pure confection, totally shameless. And I learned to surf. Somewhere deep inside, I must have developed a sense of self or self-esteem, or a North Star, an inner knowing. We all have it, we just have to listen. And I started to own who I was. Our society deems women invisible after a certain age, and this is something we can change now and forever, so that our younger sisters after us never feel their light go out. There's so many myths and misconceptions about women aging in our Western culture, including as we get older, we become invisible. As a result, we can feel less valued or sometimes downright disregarded. There's an entire population that feels disenfranchised. Internally, what happens is many women believe because they are invisible, their life doesn't have much meaning. They take on the role of being invisible and pass it on. As women age, we have so much to offer, but we believe the myth, live as if it's true, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Young women do not know what this is about, and it is my desire that younger women who have never experienced this never do. Rather than warn our younger sisters, it is my desire to mentor and support women and talk about this until we stop accepting it and we stop passing it down. This will not only serve our communities, but it will have a global impact by starting a conversation for women all over the world. The power of a tiny wave in Japan can make its way to the shore in Costa Rica. Water has an undeniable ripple effect, and your actions can have this kind of effect too. It starts with you. Do one thing. It doesn't matter how big or small, because like the waves, its force is undeniable. If you feel invisible, look yourself in the eye, in the mirror, and say something positive that you believe is true about yourself. Like, you're amazing. You go, girl. You suit up and show up no matter what. I'm so proud of you. When you do this, your light comes on. We can feel old or invisible at any age. To stay visible, continue to say positive things to yourself. And if that's tough, move a muscle, change a thought. Sometimes it just takes a smile. Becoming visible is our responsibility, not only for ourselves, but for our sisters and brothers. When we stay visible, our communities benefit from our wisdom, and they come to see us as heroes. I have many heroes, but definitely Jane Fonda. I knew her as a political activist and actress during the Vietnam War. She reinvented herself and changed the world with her exercise video, Jane Fonda's Workout, best-selling video home system or VHS of all time. She retired from acting and came back and co-founded the Women's Media Center with Gloria Steinem and Robin Morgan to amplify the voices of women in media. 5 years ago, she stepped into her principal role co-starring in Grace and Frankie. And in 2018, she was featured in the award-winning documentary Jane Fonda in 5 Acts. Jane is still my hero. As recent as October of this past year, she was first arrested for protesting climate change, and she has committed the rest of her life to changing climate. Like Jane, you have a principal role to play in your life to create this kind of change. Let's all embrace our 5 acts. Kate MacKinnon, Speaker Who Dares.